Hey, good morning, guys. Early crew, what is up? Jeff Elmore, Eric, Gary M. How are you guys doing? It is, I think, another pretty cold day. It's actually warmer than it was yesterday. Yesterday was freaking chilly. So you can see my black eye. I still am sporting that from this weekend in St. George, which was craziness. Let's see if I can get this camera sorted out just a little bit. There we go. Hey, Roger Hurd, how's it going, dude? Yeah, we had an awesome time, and it was yeah, Gary, you should see the other guy. Actually, yeah. So the other guy, I'm sure. I mean, I know you already watched it. Is a rock that is now probably 500 feet off the edge of a cliff. There were no. Hey, Robinson Motors was in Nick. No Wiley Coyote jokes right away. There were mentions of how it was a lot like Wiley Coyote and craziness. It was nuts. I'll wait to talk much about it until 7:30, but it was crazy. Ed Dugan, what is happening, my man? For all you early folks here, if you guys haven't seen it yet, we have the official dates and place for our Ride the World series of awesomenesses episode 2. It's going to be in the Black Hills of South Dakota. We're basing out of the Nemo Guest Ranch or the Nemo area. Moto, what's happening? It's so Nemo, South Dakota is a town, but it's just tiny. But there's a Nemo Guest Ranch. There's another, I think, like camping area kind of across. Anyway, there's plenty of areas to camp, both pay and free, I believe. Roger, fortunately do not need a cane. I'm doing just fine. Although my back is jacked up, probably partially from the rack, but it's getting better. Probably from the whiplash that happened as I smacked my face on a rock. But yeah, episode 2, Ride the World Series of Awesomeness is June 3rd through June 11th. So it's June 3rd is a Thursday. So all of these Ride the World Series episodes are going to be a ride like Friday, Saturday, Sunday worth of riding. So you can show up whenever you get, whatever. My plan is to always get there Thursday night, however that works. These are easy because they're one day away. We get there Thursday night, ride Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then travel home Monday. So that's the 3rd through the 11th. And is that right? No. Excuse me. 3rd through, not the 11th. That would be awesome. 3rd through the 7th. Anyway, so it's going to be super rad. Ed Dugan. Hey, there's my mom. Hey, everybody. Cool. Everybody say hi to my mom that hasn't yet. Do it or she'll come and get you. Also, hit the like button if you're watching this and you're having fun, back out of the chat, hit the like button, and then come on back in. Thanks, Mojo Moto. Thank you. I obviously have a passion for dirt bikes. It's all I can think about. Keith McQueen, yes, I do look like crap. It's hilarious. Paul Anstey, what's happening, man? There's Brady Metterberg rap. We were sad to not have Mr. Metter on the trip. Rob McCauley coming in from Rob, no, you're not from England. Where are you from, Rob? I forget. There's another guy that Hartley was from England. Anyway, yeah, it's a bummer. Brady couldn't make it. His back was acting up and old injuries and stuff. Anyway, that was sad that we didn't have the official TBT rep, but I wore my TBT jacket almost the entire time to try to, take up the place of Brady, although there's no way that I could possibly fill the jacket or shoes of Mr. Metter. Ohio, that's right. Sorry, yeah. Oh, Rob, I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. That is awesome. I've never actually been to Ohio. I think I went through a chunk of it on my way to New York one time, but I just was like pinned. I just know it's the state that's round on the ends and high in the middle. All right, guys, it's 7:30. Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 115, where the coffee is hot, the bikes are fast, and your comments are absolutely ridiculous. So this week we're going to be talking about our trip to St. George, which was the Ride the World Series of Awesomenesses episode 1. See, Paul Anstey, Utah looked pretty gnarly in some sections. I would have brought a parachute. Yeah. It is super gnarly in places. That part of Utah, not every part of Utah is, but that place is crazy. Kevin O'Loughlin, what's happening? Mike Coles, there he is, man. How's it going? Great riding 6 months a year, make a trip, tons of single track. Right on, Rob. I will someday, like, we will get this Ride the World Series of Awesomenesses moved east in the next few years. Not moved permanently, but we'll get some episodes out in the east of here in the years to come. That's the goal here, is to have these 3 a year kind of deals, but have them, you know, right now we're doing them in the west because it's easy for me. I know where things are and all that stuff, but then eventually branch out and meet more of you guys and have more of you guys and girls meet, you know, from around the country. So that's the goal. Keith McQueen, dude, those lip frame goggle frames are solid. Can't believe you broke them. Yeah, Keith. It's hard to really show how gnarly of a fall that was, even with the video. Roger, I don't know about a Havasu trip. It won't be an official big trip to Havasu this year. It's partially because the St. George trip happened, and now it's going to be springtime here really quickly, and it's going to get busy. And I probably won't be able to make it like another trip to Arizona this year, but next year for sure. National Hare and Hound, I am definitely going to try to make that happen with my kids. They both want to race a Hare and Hound, so I want to get them out there. Gary M. All right, you had your suspension done by a local TBT guy. Awesome. Who is the local TBT? You're in Arizona, so who is? I forget that guy's name. I know. Sorry, Chris Kinberg. Maybe in the fall, we'll see. But you know why, Chris? It's because you didn't show up to Phoenix or to Utah. That's why. Robinson Motorsports. Yeah, I would love to get to New York and ride dirt bikes. Eventually it will happen. That's just a very long way away from me. And the riding is so good here. It's hard to do that. There we go. Terry Webb. That's awesome. I'm glad you got your stuff done, Gary. Hopefully that is going to work out really well for you. I'm sure it will. Fully built the 91 CR250. That's awesome. CR250s are awesome. Let's see if I'm missing. Hey, Devin Bertrand, I'm here. Is anyone here live in Illinois? I don't know. You are. That's awesome. Thank you for joining in. So, hey, there's Cannon Maintenance. What's happening? So the trip to Utah was awesome. We had almost 30 riders, with over 30 people between everybody that was kind of there hanging out. And it was seriously so much fun. We had a great campsite. Actually held everybody, no problem. We had plenty of people staying in hotels, which for St. George is easy. It's only like half hour, 25 minutes away. So it's a great place if you wanted to stay in a hotel and then go ride. You didn't want to camp. It was super cold at night. It was like 19, 18 degrees in the middle of the night. So it was chilly. The van worked great. It was cold because I'm not done insulating it yet. And I didn't have my heater set up all that well. I have a little buddy heater, but it just has a tiny little propane tanks, and it would run out in the middle of the night. But it wasn't bad. But the setup, the overall proof of concept was great. Like the sleeping up top, sleeping down low. I just ordered swivels for my seats so I can spin the front seats around when I'm doing a trip like that and I'm sleeping in there, and be able to cook and hang out inside with some room, which is going to be awesome. The Brady, Zach and I definitely considered snuggling because it was freaking cold. But no, he slept downstairs. I slept upstairs. So everybody's talking about the Northeast 24 hours. I definitely got to make that happen someday. It's just going to be, yeah, it's a long way to go. like for me with a van and a trailer, I'm probably gonna bring the kids and the family and the whole deal. So it's gonna need to be a long time off, but you know, a week or two. But that's okay. I have lots of, well, my wife has lots of family, so they're my family too, in the Northeast and Vermont, in that area. So hopefully that can make it happen. Yeah, whatever, we'll do it as this channel grows, which by the way is growing like crazy. Thank you guys so much. As it gets bigger, it's going to afford me more time off with Zach to travel and do stuff. Generator to space heater work perfect in those vans. Yeah. So I have a generator, and I need what I need to do eventually, and I'm not, you know, it all costs money and takes time. I'm going to put a shore outlet or shore power outlet on the van so I can plug my generator in and then plug things in. Get that done. The 24 hours of Glen Helen, I would like to do for sure. I just gotta, you know, whatever. There's lots of stuff going on, and yeah, craziness. But the first race that I'm really gonna try to get to is a National Hare and Hound out in Johnson Valley, Lucerne area. I haven't looked at the schedule. Roger, have you looked at the schedule? Are they doing one at the end of January? If they are, I'm probably not going to make that because that's awfully close, but I might make round 2, which would be crazy because I've only ever raced a Desert MC's Hare and Hound. Hatfield McCoy System in West Virginia. Yeah, I would like to ride that for sure. Like, as I said, as we move forward and we grow this channel and, you know, financially it's more supporting of all these crazy things, then I will be traveling a lot. That's why I got the Whale Mingo, the big van, and that's why we're going to deck it out and get it dialed in so we can travel and ride with you guys. So yeah, Utah was awesome. Day 1 was really cool. It was everybody. We all rode together. We did lose a few people at first. Hey, Eric Durani, what's happening? Yes, she hit me in the face. No, this was, if you haven't seen Eric, hey, what's happening, Jay Coleman? Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, you definitely got to go check out the last video, which was day 1 of Ride the World episodes. If you want to skip right to the crash, it's at 20 minutes, almost, I think, even. If you go just a little bit before that, you'll see the lead up to it, if you don't want to watch the whole thing. And basically, so the day was awesome. We all rode together. It was huge. You could see the dust from space for a little while, but then we got in the sand and the dust went away. And we got up in the rocks and we did all this really cool stuff. We helped people. It was really fun. Some people overcame some serious like fear of these rock ledges, and it was really cool to see because you're all there to help. I was really, really stoked. And it was really fun to watch some people progress and like conquer some obstacles that they didn't think they could do. And it was really neat. And then at the end of the day, we're going to drop down this super gnarly side hill trail that we'd actually gone down the night before with some guys we rode early. Zach and Jim and I rode early, and it's super scary. It's a huge drop off on the left, and it's really exposed. And anyway, the riding is not that hard, especially going downhill, but it's, anyway, whatever. So we get there. I'm going to like kind of be posted up at the top, and we had a couple people posted up down low to spot, and I'm taking pictures and filming and laughing at people that are crashing. And as I'm like getting ready to turn around and walk off and like go get my bike and get in line to come down it, the entire cliff like gave away and I tumbled and ended up like turning and flipping, and my face came down on this pointy rock, and it went right inside my helmet and hit my goggles and exploded my head. You can see right there. And it bled a lot. Like if you watch the video, you hear me saying I'm bleeding and I was freaking out because it took a while before the blood made it out of my goggles and started dripping all over my hands, but it immediately started filling my goggles, and I was freaking out a little bit because I didn't know what was going to happen. So, the dog, hit the like button. Thanks, Paul Anstey. This is awesome. And so as I, tumbled and hit my face, hey, what's going on? Anyway, that's my family. They're getting ready to go to school. So as I'm like, I hit my face and get up and I stand up, I realize like blood's all in my goggles. I sit down, I realize I'm okay. It's just a head wound. They bleed a lot. It's going to be okay. And I look and there's this giant rock in the way. And it's not the one I hit my face on. The one I hit my face on is like this smaller rock anyway. And it could have been so bad. It could have hit Zach. He was the one below it, or Keith right before. Brady, I can't. She's out there. She knew that Brady was watching and she wants to eat him. Oh, Lucas, thanks, man. I did try to take it like a champ. It was quite a thing. And yeah, so fortunately, some other guys, Mickey and some other guys, kicked that rock on down and off the thing so we could get by it, because it actually totally clogged the trail up. Like, it was going to be a really giant pain in the butt to get bikes down through that notch if we hadn't. But yeah, and Keith did almost die. It was nuts, guys. So anyway, so that happened at the end of day one. It was crazy. Well, one for me, it was probably, we got down back to camp around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I took the rest of the time off, and I was like, man, I had to get my head bandaged up because it was bleeding. It was bleeding a lot. It's a pretty good gash. So we got that done, got the bleeding stopped, hung out. Day two, we split up into groups and kind of based on what we had experienced the day before, and went with people that we knew, we rode well with, and we went out and explored. And Jim and Lucas and Zach and a bunch of us and Rich and Michelle and John and who else? Chime in if you're here. I forget. Anyway, we all went out and just explored, and we found some super cool stuff. That video, by the way, will drop today at 9:00 a.m. It's done. It's in the can. It's waiting to premiere on YouTube at 9. We found some really awesome technical hard single track that was really completely different than the day before. The day before was all in the red rock sandstone sand and crazy kind of rock crawly obstacles and stuff like that, except for the side hill thing. And then the next day we found these canyons with these big gnarly rocks, and it was awesome. And then day 3 was a smaller group. A lot of guys headed out, guys from Oklahoma headed home. Aleph and Eric and Alan and Carrie boogied, and then other guys that just were going to be there for 2 days. So Sunday was a smaller group, and we went out and we had a blast. I told everybody it was going to be fast, flowy, easy, and then my buddy Ross, Mo, and I kind of got distracted by trying to get up this canyon. It was not easy, but it was totally cool. And anyway, we banged up the canyon as far as we felt like it was worth it, and turn around. We could definitely make it further, and I want to next time, but we turned around, came down, and then we found the fast flowy stuff and had a hoot on Sunday. And then Sunday night, instead of spending the night, we were going to spend the night, but like I said, the van is good, but it needs some more tweaking to be comfortable in the cold. Like if it had been warmer, it would have been no big deal, but it was chilly. So we packed up and headed home, and it was awesome. So everybody who came, thank you so much for coming. We really had a great time. I have some extra t-shirts from the event. We had a couple guys back out and donate. Just said keep the t-shirts, give them away. And I had a couple guys didn't make it. Thomas Schumann. I think it's Schumann. Anyway, a guy named Thomas who was supposed to make it. His truck, he was getting diesel in gypsum, and there was gas in the diesel tank at the gas station, and it freaking ruined his truck. So that sucked. And then a couple other guys just didn't show, and I don't know what's up with that. So anyway, I have a few extra shirts. They're mainly larges and extra larges, I think, is all I really have extra. So if anybody's interested, shoot me an email, morgan@highland-cycles.com. Obviously, I like to just sell them to guys or give them to guys that were there. I mean, I don't know. If you want one and you weren't there, that's cool. Garrett Anderson couldn't make it because of his stupid work. Brady Metter, my rides are fast and flowy for at least a minute. Anthony Holder, really look forward to your videos. Thanks. You are infectious. Thanks. You're like Corona, but totally positive way. Keep up. Awesome. Thanks coming in from South Africa. That's awesome, man. Yeah, Eric. Oh, you didn't give him his shirt? What the heck? You gave him the suspension, but not the shirt. Oh, Paul Anstey. I saw someone got a flat on the first day. Did you convince them to get mooses? I did my best, Paul. There were flats. Yeah. In fact, John Head, who he'll probably watch this later. He works for a living. He drives a truck, so he's probably working right now, but he'll watch this later. And yeah, he got a flat in his tubeless. It was awesome. So there was a lot of joking about that. But fortunately, it was on his dual sport bike and not his little bike. He has mooses in a little bike, so it's no big deal. What can I do to get a lighter clutch pull for 91 CR250? So Mojo Moto, first thing I would do is replace your cable if you haven't already, and check out the actuator. Just make sure everything is working like it's supposed to, because a lot of times it's because the cable's getting grimy and the pivot on the lever's getting grimy, and all that kind of comes together to make it really hard to pull. So take a look at that stuff. Make sure you got it all good. And then Brady, that's awesome. If that's all good, then lighter clutch pull, you can either get lighter springs, but that you got to be careful because then you won't get the clamping pressure and the friction you need for the clutch to engage. Or there's lots of other things. They make different lever perch setups that have different pivots that make it be smooth. Nick from Robinson Motorsports Clutch Basket. Yeah, if it's the grooves, definitely make it harder to pull if the bike is real notchy as it engages and it's wanting to drag and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, Mom, I love you. By the way, my mom broke her leg. Everybody wish her well. Say prayers for my mom. She broke her leg moving something heavy, and it fell and broke her leg. So, yeah, Mom, I love you. I will talk to you later. Andy, what's happening? Conditions report, Andy. Thank you. I forgot to do the conditions report. So Peach Valley and south, so Peach Valley to Flat Top and all that, I would say probably not a good idea to ride because the north sides of all of those hills have snow on them. And that means that when it warms up, which today's going to be like almost 40, I think, that means it's going to be super muddy and like unrideable. So if you get out early, great. But if not, don't. I know that the Delta Adobes north of Delta are primo. And I think that like Rabbit Valley and all that, that's covered in snow, but that's sandy, so you could ride there. But right now, Peach and Flat Top are a no-go. I wouldn't even bother. Like I said, unless you're going to get up early, get out there before it melts. Eric Durani, yeah, there were lots of bleeps. I was swearing like a sailor as I smacked my face on a giant rock. Super happy though with the Leatt goggles. I mean, I broke them, but the lens didn't break. It is their bulletproof lens. It didn't break, amazingly enough. And if you look really closely at it, it's like gouged by that rock. And I think that's probably what saved me from a way worse injury is having good goggles on. Because I think if I'd had some cheap ones, it would have been a lot worse. Also, obviously having my helmet on, and that's just lucky, really, because I was just hanging out, helping people, pulling whatever. And it was just lucky. Part of why I had it on was because I was filming and I left my camera on the thing. So anyway, but yeah, it was crazy. Thank you, God, for that, because that I believe was completely and totally him taking care of me. How many people did it take to roll that rock out of the way? Just 2, actually, because it was downhill and they got in there with their legs and kicked it. It was awesome. Garrett Anderson. So only problem is with some of the lenses create a hologram effect. So yeah, because they're all dual pane lenses, they seem like when they're brand new, they don't seem to cause a problem. But I've had a few as they get older and they're out in the heat and the stuff, it like the inside thing will warp or whatever, and then yeah, it's not awesome. And I've had that with other dual pane lenses. I think it's the dual pane part. Let's see. Yeah, any other questions? Questions. The next Ride the World Series of Awesomenesses episode, like I said, is Nemo, South Dakota. The Nemo guest ranch is filling up. If you guys are interested in staying actually at the guest ranch, we've got a cabin rented. I know Brady's got a cabin rented. I know some other people have cabins rented. When I talked to them yesterday, before Brady rented a cabin and some rooms, they only had a few, like 2 or 3 cabins left. And then RV spots, I think they only had like 6. So it's going to fill up really fast. And that's not all us, but it's a really popular time of year to be there, especially for side-by-sides and ATVs. By the way, side-by-sides and ATVs, don't worry if you're wanting to come. There are lots of trails specifically for side-by-sides and ATVs. So they stay off of the single track, which is awesome. Also, there are so many trees out there that it would take a monumental effort to cut through the thing. Yeah, Garrett, sorry, man. I had to choose a date, and that's the date. So I know there's some racing going on that weekend, but I'm going to go have fun. Eric, all right. Eric got a cabin also. So yeah, I don't know. I think they have some of the big houses still available. Like they have some houses that are like $200 or $300 a night, but they hold a giant number. Dude named Eric, I am a Dakar fan. Super bummed to see Toby Price out. I don't have I haven't seen like the last update, so I don't know where Ricky Brabeck, hopefully he is up into the 3rd position. I'd love to see Honda take the entire podium. That would be really, really, really cool. Just because KTM's dominated that race for so long, it's neat to see another manufacturer actually stepping up and doing something cool. Also, if you guys know Honda, when they decide to win things, they generally do. Yeah, Anthony Holder. Yes, Lit is a South African company, and they are great. Now I have had some issues with their boots, but I haven't updated you guys on that. So my Lit boots, I absolutely love the way they fit. I like the protection and all that, but I kept tearing the soles of those boots, and they kept replacing the boots, which is awesome. But I finally kicked it I finally got rid of them and went back to Garnet's. I couldn't deal with the soles constantly tearing. Honda only has 2 guys left. Who are the 2 guys, Brady? Because I haven't watched. Brabeck was like in 4th like 2 days ago. I don't have an excuse for Honda. And if they quit racing because it was too expensive, I think. I think. I don't know. Well, and I don't know if they ever won or not. But I said generally. Here we go. Brady and I are going to get into it again. It's going to be awesome. Yes, but yeah, they're not a modified 450X. Neither is the KTM. The KTM is not a 450 XCF it's a custom thing. Brabeck and Benavides. Okay, so Nacho, did he crash out? Because that guy was awesome. I was really excited to see the Chilean kid do well. All right, right on. Good to see. I would really like to see Brabeck do well too. Wonder what's up. Yeah. So Anthony, it is I think they made the soles soft so that they stick to the pegs really well. But when you ride in the rocks like I do all the time, and you're relatively heavy and you stab your feet down, I kept tearing them. It was a really bummer. The other 2 knocked themselves out. Dang it. That's a bummer. But, it happens. Let's see. Sam and Ricky. got time back for helping Toby Price. That was really cool. Really happy to see those guys help him out. Someone asked something back here. Chris Kinberg, do you have a list of all the places you plan on visiting for the series this year? Chris, the 3 episodes for the series of awesomenesses this year. St. George already happened. South Dakota is June 3rd. And the last one for the year, the official one, is going to be Idaho. And that's going to be in August. And I got to figure out exactly when. I haven't dialed that in yet, but hopefully soon I'll get that sorted out. But we're going to go up into the Sawtooth of Idaho. That's going to be a NAR fest. So that is not going to be for the faint of heart, just so everybody knows. Brady, I hear the Garnet boots. I know. Fortunately, I was able to find 2 pairs of 11s, one for me, one for Zach, just recently. It was awesome. Let's see. So no, Garrett Anderson, you can take the 450. It's just a handful up in the Idaho mountains. But Brady will hopefully be there on his 450. But Brady makes a 450 look a lot like a 50 when he sits on him. His KX 450 seriously looks like a mini bike. When we rode with him in Oklahoma, it was hilarious. So yeah. What else? Any other questions, guys? Hit me up. We got a few minutes left here. Yeah, things are good at the shop. It's definitely slower. And I'm back to filming the schlogs, by the way, so it's awesome. South Dakota ride 4, 5, and 6. Yes, those will be the ride days. And I think I actually got to, speaking of that, Tony Andrews, Brady's out on Idaho. I kind of figured, Brady, you might say that because hang on, I'm fixing something real fast because I messed up. There we go. Anyway, I botched up the days. Right on, Garrett Anderson. Good to see you. Hey, Maker Extreme, what's happening, man? I'm actually going to be diving into the XR650s next week. Very excited about that. When do we get the Cowie review? Yeah, Brady, when do we get the Cowie review? Actually, we need to get Brady up here and get him to ride with us on the Cowie and do a full review. That would be really cool. So that would be super. Hey, there's my mom. I thought you were leaving, Mom. I love you. Or maybe you're on your phone. That'd be hilarious. Let's see. Brady, you should like the NAR. The Idaho NAR is so good, though. It's just so big and wild and crazy and remote. It's really fun. Mark, you were late, but then no worries. The next event is June 3rd through the 7th. Anyway, 3rd through the 7th. I don't know. I went to the next weekend in my brain. 3rd through the 7th of June, and it's in Nemo, South Dakota, and it's going to be sweet. One of the best bikes ever. Oh, nice. Right on. Good to hear about the Kawasaki. It's one of the best bikes he's had out of the box. That is awesome. Quick little synopsis of what South Dakota riding is like for all of you guys who are maybe considering coming. It's a lot like the Rocky Mountains. Well, I guess it kind of is in the Rocky Mountains, but anyway, it's a lot like the Colorado Rocky Mountains, except that nothing is as tall. So there's not huge, giant exposure, and there's a lot more trees. Also, there seems to be a lot more dirt left in the trails because there's not as many people. So it's not as chewed up, but there are also some giant rock gardens and some really hard, gnarly stuff and some super steep hill climbs. You don't always have to do them to get around. There's a ton of like I said, 2-track trails that wind through. So if you're a beginner or you got beginner kids and you want to come, because my kids are coming, and we're gonna there'll be a ton of riding for everyone. It'll be easy to find. I don't really have a trail boss for this one like we did with Jamin in South Dakota, or excuse me, in St. George. But a lot of people are coming who know their way around. Also, the maps are really good of the area. and it's just an awesome place. So it's easy to ride around. You can also ride over to other little towns, get gas, get lunch, and come back. It's just a really fun place. Also, when we park at the Nemo Guest Ranch, you won't have to put the bikes back on a trailer or in a van the rest of the trip until you're heading home. You can just ride right from there. There's a gas station right across the street. So it's just easy. It's a really cool place. Yeah, Andy, by the way, Brady is always, you cannot actually listen to what Brady types on these things because he's always lying. Let's see. The durability, yeah, that's Garrett Anderson says, Brady, keep us up to date on the durability as we go, for sure. I think that bike's going to be really good. I don't like 450s. They're too much for me. I'm not a strong enough individual to handle a 450 and anything but like the easy, like drag racing it on pavement and the nice, easy Adobe riding is the only place I can handle a 450. It's way too much bike for me. So there we go. Any other questions, guys? If you're watching this and you're new to this channel, you just like, well, what is going on with this whole Gospel Two Wheels thing? And you liked what you watched, hit the subscribe button. We're almost to 7,000 subscribers. That's a huge, giant jump from a year ago. So thank you very much. That's awesome. Garrett Anderson, when do we start Baja training? Very soon, actually. As soon as my back, I think like the head smack whiplash thing kind of jacked it up, but it's feeling better. I should be back on my bicycle next week and we should be good. Rob McCauley, Rob, if you met Brady and saw him in person, you would know that he does need a 450. That man is like, trust me, a 300 is like a 125. It's the guy needs a 450 for sure. Right on, guys. It's 8:02. I got a boogie. I got stuff to do. I got to get my kids' bikes ready because they're mad at me for not taking them to St. George and riding. They had a blast on Phoenix and they're like angry with me for that. So we've got to, they want to ride this weekend and we're going to go to Delta this weekend. I think Sunday, if anybody wants to go, if anybody's around here and wants to go ride the Delta Adobes, it's a pretty fun place. It's kind of small, but it's fun. There's lots of stuff. Sweet Mark, South Dakota, Nemo. Yeah, it's an awesome place to ride. I love you guys so much. You guys are the reason that I do this. I really, really, Eric, that's awesome. Sorry. I really, really, really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your busy schedules and watching these videos. It does mean an absolute ton to me. It just fills my soul that you guys are on board and sharing and doing awesome stuff. So I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. I desperately hope that you guys get out and you spread the gospel of two wheels. We need more people riding dirt bikes because it changes your brain into a normal human and makes you think clearly. So I love you guys. Have an awesome day. And as always, oh yeah, Punk Rock Club. Thank you. Dude named Eric. Punk Rock Club. Thank you for sticking around to the end of all these videos. You guys are my heroes. Eventually I'm going to have some punk rock merch. Oh, by the way, I'm getting hats like this that say I love dirt bikes on a patch. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for that merch. I love you guys. I keep saying that, but I really do love you guys. You guys are awesome. It was great meeting a bunch of you in St. George. I hope to meet lots more of you in South Dakota and on as we go. Have an awesome day. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels. And as always, you know what I'm going to say? I hope that what we're doing at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes.